Yeah, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing checking back in with y'all, man. What's going on? How y'all doing? Keith Thurman on the Last Stand podcast with Brian Custer. First and foremost, shout out to Brian Custer. That brother doing a hell of a job with these interviews, man. Earl Spence's interview was great. Terence Crawford, Keith Thurman. I mean, he asked all the right questions. He allowed a guest to speak. Just an amazing job. I just want to give a huge shout out to Brian Custer for that Last Stand podcast. It's a great show, and I love those interviews over there. But, you know, Keith Thurman interview just dropped. About an hour long, very, very good interview. You know, he talked about a lot of different things in that interview, but this particular topic, you know, I want to talk about, of course, with Terence Crawford. You know, his thoughts about fighting Terence Crawford, you know, him initially coming out saying that he's open and willing to make that fight with Terence Crawford, and Crawford's response to him. Now, you know, Keith came out a couple of months ago saying that, hey, man, look, I'm down to fight Earl right now. I'm down to fight Crawford. I'm down to fight anybody. I want all the smoke. You know what I'm saying? Basically saying, look, he's coming back with a new and improved outlook on boxing and his career, and you know, assuming that he's feeling better health-wise, and you know, the injuries are healing up and things like that. And he's like, look, man, I want all the smoke. You know, I got a great resume. I done, you know, battled it out with the best. I done took an L to Manny Pacquiao legend. And look, I want to come back and redeem myself. So, you know, he's in search of another title. And, you know, Terence Crawford responded, and he said, look, man, Keith Thurman basically full of shit. You know, he don't know what he want. You know what I'm saying? And when he say Keith Thurman don't know what he want, I'm thinking he's you know, going back to when Keith Thurman say, well, look, I need a tune-up, I need a get-back fight, you know, but then he do an interview and say, well, I'm ready to fight Crawford right now, I'm ready to fight Earl Spence right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, which one is it? Do you want a tune-up fight, or do you want like a get-back fight? You need to test out your hand because he got a hand injury that's been aching him. I believe he did actually have the hand surgery. You know, do you need to test these things out in a title eliminator or a comeback fight, and then get you a title fight with one of these top guys? You know, which one is it? You know what I'm saying? And I feel Terence Crawford on that, because it's like you get conflicting things from Keith Thurman. It's like, you know, what do you really want to do? And you know, Keith Thurman, when Brian Custer brought that up, Keith Thurman, man, and his response to this was very, very genuine. You can see and feel the passion, you know, through his words and through his energy, you know what I'm saying? And the way he was expressing himself, you could tell that he really felt some type of way. He even admitted that Terence Crawford got up under his skin, and that he is more eager to fight Crawford right now as opposed to fighting Earl Spence Jr. That's how, you know, how passionate he was about, you know, what Terence Crawford said. So, you know, he said, look, man, you know, you ain't done nothing at 147. Don't nobody respect you in this division. You ain't touched Sean Porter. You ain't touched none of the elites. You ain't touched Danny Garcia. You ain't touched Earl Spence. You ain't touched Keith Thurman. You ain't touched Manny Pacquiao. You ain't been in there with none of these guys. He said, he said, I'm running out of fingers the count of the guys that I done beat or been in the ring with, and you ain't been nowhere near him. You know what I'm saying? And I feel Keith Thurman on that. I feel him on that. You know what I'm saying? So he basically saying, like, why would I duck you, or why would I be afraid to fight you, bro? You ain't even been on the level of competition as me at all. I feel Keith Thurman on that. You know what I'm saying? Both of these guys making great points. I feel Keith Thurman on that. You know, I think it comes down to now top ranking those guys making a legitimate offer to Keith Thurman and calling his bluff. You know what I'm saying? I feel like at this point, if Keith Thurman, we need to see what Keith Thurman really about coming back, you know, what his real, because we heard him talk, but we need to see some action. We need to know where Keith Thurman really is. Does he absolutely need to have a tune-up fight? We see Errol Spence been off for a year, car accident, all type of crazy shit, all type of wild shit. He ain't taking no tune-up. He fighting Danny Garcia. So, but I mean, of course, Keith Thurman Earl Spence, on paper, he didn't have let's say significant injuries that was going to hinder him from fighting. You know what I'm saying? So on paper, I guess you could say his injuries is different from Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman had hand injuries, that's been nagging him, and he didn't get the hand surgery initially. So this is something that's been ongoing. So maybe he does need to test out his shit in a tune-up fight. I don't really know, but we need to know where Keith Thurman heart really is. And I think the only way to find that out is if Top Rank, Bob Arum, Bud Crawford, Team Crawford over there, they send a legitimate offer and call his bluff. And Keith Thurman said, look, I'll go on live. I'll go on live. If y'all send me a contract, I'll go on live and sign it if it's respectable. And speaking on that, I think this offer needs to be, he needs to either get paid what Terence Crawford is making in that fight or more. Keith Thurman is going to bring more to the table in that fight. He's done more in the welterweight division. He's already been in bigger fights. He's unified the division at one time. I don't see how you can pay Keith Thurman any less than what you will pay Crawford. I think he needs to either make what Crawford is making or more. You all would agree that that's fair, right? Keith Thurman is going to be the biggest name in that fight. So Keith Thurman should make either what Crawford is making or more. That's only fair, in my opinion. And Bob Arum, they got to come with a deal like that. If they don't, then you can't really blame Keith Thurman on not accepting that fight. You can't offer Keith Thurman a fight with Crawford and have Crawford making more money than him. Whether he's a champion or not, you can't do that. You can't do that. Keith Thurman done put work into the game at this division. He done put work into the game. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, like I said, we won't know where Keith Thurman's heart really is until there's a legitimate offer sent out to him and he either accept it or turn it down. And like I said, I feel where both guys coming from. Crawford say, well, Keith, you don't know what the hell you want. 1 minute you saying you hurt, and then the next minute you saying you want a big fight. 1 minute you saying you want a big fight right now, the next minute you saying you want a tune-up and then a big fight. You know what I'm saying? Now, Keith Thurman, I understand where you coming from too. Why would I duck Terence Crawford? I done already fought Sean Porter. I done already fought Danny Garcia. I done already fought Manny Pacquiao. Why would I duck Terence Crawford? We do this for a living. He said guys get into fights on the street for somebody stepping on their Jordans. We do this for a living. People fight for free all the time. This shit ain't nothing new. This ain't my first rodeo. I done been in fights before. I done been hit in the mouth before. I used to go gym to gym looking for somebody to beat my ass. Keith Thurman talking that shit, man. So I get where both guys are coming from, but we're not gonna know what the deal really is until Keith Thurman's bluff is called. So right now, we gonna put the ball in Top Rank, Bud Crawford, Team Crawford, and Bob Arum's court. That's where the ball is in their court right now. You know what I'm saying? Keith Thurman say he'll take that offer if it's respectable. He gonna go on live and sign it. That's what the man say. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Contender Regime Boxing. I holla at y'all boys, man.